We're going to be talking this morning about a misting system that we're developing to be used for plant propagation. I am part of the Durham County Master Gardeners, and our propagation committee is excited about the opportunity to build and then use a misting system so that our cuttings are in the right environment when they're beginning to root. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. We are standing inside of a hoop house. A hoop house is a passive greenhouse, meaning no heating or air conditioning. It's 20 feet wide and 72 feet long. It has planting beds in it that are used mostly for vegetable. It extends the season, is the reason the hoop house was built. And at one end of the hoop house, we have put in 2 work tables, and you'll see this white plumbing, it's PVC plumbing, to misting heads. And misting heads are the little black things on the tops of the vertical pipes, and that generates a cloud of moisture, water, periodically. Misting works best when it's on for a few seconds and then off for a few minutes. And it's used to reduce the stress on the cutting, the plant that you're trying to get to root. And there's sort of 2 ways it does that. It does it by reducing the amount of evaporation that's occurring at the plant itself, the leaf that's there. But it also has an important role in controlling the temperature, because it's the heat that generated from the sunlight that often will burn the cutting before it has time to root. And that's the beauty of the mist system, is that you periodically generate a cloud of moisture, which then evaporates, and that removes heat from that microclimate. And even though it might be 100 degrees inside this hoop house, it might be 75 degrees where your cuttings are. And that's why this works. And the system is programmed so that it comes on during the hot part of the day. So it typically would come on at 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then maybe turn off at 7 o'clock at night, for example. During the evening and overnight, it doesn't have to be misted. So anyway, we're going to go through the basics of the system. We're going to start with the clock. This is the most important part of the system because it controls the on-off function. And I'm going to step over this way a little bit. The clock is hiding inside this panel. It is electric, of course, so it has to be plugged in. The unit itself is right here, and of course it's programmable for the control of the solenoid. The solenoid is the part of the valve that turns the water on and off. And what tells the solenoid to go on or off is this control box, and it has to be sophisticated enough to get down to seconds. So many controlling systems that are commonly purchased at big box stores and so forth don't have the ability to go down to minutes or even seconds, and that's critical for this misting system. So this is a timer that has that capability. So the timer is there, it's programmed. Right now it's set to irrigate for the water to flow for 6 seconds, and then off for 10 minutes, and then back on again through the period of the day when it's hot, so roughly 8 o'clock in the morning until about 7 o'clock at night. Under my feet is where the control wire goes, and we come to a box in the gravel floor. And I'll just take the top of it off. I know it's hard to see in here, but the 2 solenoids are also, when I say solenoids, it means the same thing as the valve. The 2 valves are located here, 1 valve, of course, for this table and 1 for this. They're independently controlled. Once the water is allowed to flow through the valve, it'll come through this PVC piping, and then the vertical pieces that you see get the water to the misting head. The misting head is screwed into the top there, and it generates the cloud of moisture that you want. So fairly basic idea, and that's how we're going to get the mist on our cuttings periodically during the heat of the day.